Hello everyone, welcome again to MKS Biovision. Today we are going to study population genetics. The most popular law of, most famous law of this population genetics is Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Actually, two scientists, one was a mathematician G.H. Hardy and a German physician William Weinberg independently gave a rule in the population genetics in the year 1908. That later on become famous as Hardy-Weinberg principle या Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. According to this law, the alternative form of a gene, that is called allele, frequency of allele and frequency of genotype remains constant in a non-evolving Mendelian population. We'll see that what is this non-evolving Mendelian population. What does it mean? The frequency doesn't change. The frequency of allele and frequency of genotype doesn't change in a non-evolving Mendelian population. Non-evolving Mendelian population means the population in which the evolutionary forces like mutation and natural selection is not operating. Mendelian population means naturally interbreeding, reproducing unit sharing a common gene pool. Now we can combine all the things in a one single definition. Let us have a complete definition of it. Frequency of allele and genotype remains constant in a large isolated randomly mating population frequency of alleles and genotypes remains constant in a large isolated randomly mating population if provided that if evolutionary forces are not operating. There are so many things in this frequency of allele and genotype remains constant. How the frequency of allele and genotype remains constant in the population? The population, there is criteria for the population given in the definition itself. The population should be large, the population should be isolated, the population should be randomly mating, Further, the population should be immune from the evolutionary forces. Evolutionary forces are not operating. Evolutionary forces are not operating. The short definition is frequency of allele and genotypes remain in a state of equilibrium in a non-evolving Mendelian population. Non-evolving Mendelian population. Detailed definition. This is also a definition. Frequency of allele and genotype. Frequency of allele and genotypes remains constant, remains in a state of equilibrium in non-evolving. This is also definition. This is the short definition and this is detailed definition. Here we find that there are certain criteria, assumptions associated with this Hardy-Weinberg principle. What are the assumptions of Hardy-Weinberg principle? The population should be large. Population should be large. It is true for large population. Large population. The law is not applicable to haploid organism. Haploid and asexual. Not applicable to haploid and asexually reproducing organism. Asexually reproducing organism. This law is not applicable to bacteria, algae, fungi, etc., whose life cycle haploid phase is dominant. Here we see that it is particularly applicable for diploid organism and sexually reproducing organism. The one of the criteria is large population. The second criteria is the population should be isolated. The third, it should be randomly mating. Further, evolutionary forces like mutation and natural selection is not operating. No mutation, and no natural selection. Natural selection. Large population is required because if the population is small and some catastrophic event, some natural calamities happens and some part of the population is lost, suppose forest fire. If forest fire, if breaks in case of wildfire, many species are burnt, lost, and with this they takes away many important alleles also. If the population is small, the chances of loss of alleles is very, very large. But if the population is very large, the chances becomes quite less, because somewhere the same allele may exist and might not get completely lost due to fire. So this large population doesn't show any genetic drift, loss of loss of a gene or fixing of a gene, that is called in a small population is called genetic drift. So large population is protected from genetic drift. That is why in large population there is no genetic drift. No genetic drift. Large population, the genetic chances of genetic drift is very less. In case of isolated population, the population should be isolated because there must not be any flow of gene from the population and into the population. If some gene is getting out due to from the population, the process is called immigration. Immigration and immigration. Suppose some individual is going out of a particular population to another population. Suppose this is the population A, this is population A, and this is population B. This should be isolated. If some individuals from A moves to B, then it is called immigration. Immigration. And if the individual from B is coming into A, this is called immigration. Both these events, both these kinds of migration may influence the frequency of a allele. That is why equilibrium can exist only there is no migration. No any kind of migration, it means there should be no migration. No migration. No migration. No genetic drift, no migration. The third point is it should be randomly mating. Randomly mating means each individual of the population should have the equal opportunity to mate with the remaining individual of the population. Suppose this is a population and here A, B, C, D, E are 4 individuals in this population. Each individual has equal opportunity. Suppose this is A. A has equal opportunity to mate with B, mate with D, mate with E, and mate with. Similarly, E has equal opportunity to mate with the remaining individual of the population. This is called random mating. There is no preferential mating or assortative mating. Assortative mating means there is some preference for similar or dissimilar phenotype. If the preference for similar phenotype, then it is called positive assortative mating, and if there is a preference for opposite phenotype, then it is called negative assortative mating. Neither of this kind of assortative mating should be there. Then random mating means there should be no assortative mating. No assortative mating. No assortative mating. No assortative mating. The fourth one is no mutation. Mutation is spontaneous or induced. Neither kind of mutation should be there because mutation can change the frequency of allele. There should be no mutation. There should not be any change in the genotype. Anyway, the last one is no natural selection. No natural selection means certain changes in the genotype that appears due to mutation might be favored or disfavored. Natural selection operates on the raw material created by the mutation, the diversity of gene created by the mutation. Some changes in the genotypes are selected, some changes are rejected due to natural selection. There should be no natural selection. That is why this is talking about a non-evolving population. If there is a natural selection, the population becomes evolving population. That's why there should be, if there is no natural selection, the population is not evolving. Simply the size of population is increasing, but the frequency of allele and genotype remains constant generation after generation. Now from here we can say Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium is all about a natural equilibrium. Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium is a neutral equilibrium. Neutral it talks about a neutral equilibrium. There is another equilibrium also which is called dynamic equilibrium. In dynamic equilibrium, the loss of a particular allele is compensated by emergence of new allele due to mutation. The number of active genes remains almost constant, because if there is some loss in the allele, new genes come up, and the total active gene in population remains almost same. This is called dynamic equilibrium, but Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium is applicable is only for neutral equilibrium. It talks about neutral equilibrium only. Now we can explain the entire thing through a graph. We are aware of this formula: a plus b whole square equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. Now we see how this formula is related to this law. Suppose the frequency of a allele, we consider two allele. We are not discussing multiple allelic situation. We are discussing a particular gene having two alternative form, two alleles, biallelic condition. One gene, suppose one gene is A, dominant gene, and recessive gene small a. The frequency of A gene, we can represent frequency of A allele by P. Dominant allele, the frequency of dominant allele is represented by small p. Here we can write frequency of recessive allele by small q. It says that frequency of A and frequency of large dominant allele and frequency of small allele is 1. Constant means it is talking about whole. One is talking about whole population, and frequency is talking about fraction. We can write it P plus Q is equal to 1. Suppose if we talk about in terms of percentage, if P allele is 70%, and Q allele is 30%, then it should be in total it should be 100%. But if we express in terms of frequency, then we can say it is 0.7, it is 0.3, and this one is 1. The frequency of P is equal to 0.7, Q is equal to 0.3, and this is 1. Now we see here from that P plus Q is equal to 1. This is formula for allele frequency. P and Q jointly, if we combine the frequency of P and Q, it becomes 1. If we want to know the frequency of P only, we have to deduct Q from 1. Similarly, Q1 minus P. These are the formula for alleles. Now, P plus Q is equal to 1. Make a whole square. P plus Q whole square equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ is equal to 1. Now the same thing is there. We have just converted this into, we have taken the help of this formula. This is the frequency of genotype. Here this is the frequency for allele, and this is the frequency of genotype. For in a biallelic condition, we find that there are 3 genotypes. We have also seen this in case of monohybrid cross of Mendelian also, that there are 3 kinds of genotype in case of biallelic condition showing complete dominance. Frequency of homozygous dominant. Frequency, here is the allele and here is the frequency of homozygous dominant, is equal to P square. Frequency of homozygous recessive, is equal to Q square, and frequency of heterozygous is equal to 2PQ. Therefore, these are the formula for genotype, and these are the formula for frequency of allele. Here is a graph showing Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. On x-axis, we have represented frequency of alleles. In biallelic condition, there are 2 alleles having the frequency P and Q. Frequency of P is represented by this line 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and finally it has come to 1. The maximum value is 1. Maximum here Q is a 0. It means if Q is 0, P is equal to 1. And when P is equal to 0, Q is equal to 1. Here we see that total should be P plus Q. P plus Q is 1. The allele, the frequency of P is 1, that is maximum. P has get this is the frequency when P gets fixed. At this point, allele Q doesn't exist. Only P and P is there. Here we find the frequency of Q is 0. When we proceed in reverse direction, the value is gradually increasing for Q, and finally the maximum value here we get is 1. When here it is 1 for Q, 1, P for 1 for Q. When Q becomes 1, P becomes 0. Here, in this case, at this point, Q becomes fixed. Q becomes fixed, and P gets lost. This is on x-axis we have represented the frequency of allele. On y-axis we have shown the frequency of genotype. There are three kinds of genotype, three types of genotype. That is homozygous dominant, homozygous recessive, and heterozygous. P, there are three types of genotypes: Q, P square, Q square, and 2PQ. P for capital A, Q for small a, and 2P for capital A, small a, heterozygous condition. Now take one example. Suppose the allelic frequency of dominant gene, that is A is equal to 0.7, then obviously Q will become 0.3, because P and Q becomes 1. If we trace this value on this graph, we see that this is the point. This is the point where P is 0.7 and Q is 0.3 here. Q is 0.3. Now, at this frequency, let us trace the value of genotype. What will be the genotype frequency at this allelic frequency? We extend this upward, and the point where it's bisect Q, this is the Q square, the value of Q square is there. Value of Q square, homozygous recessive. Since this y-axis represents the value of genotype, now draw a line perpendicular on y-axis. Y-axis means here we get a value. Which is equal to, let us see the value of homozygous dominant genotype, that is 0.7. 0.7, this is meeting this graph 0.7. This is the point. This point is Q square. Sorry, it is not working. This value is Q square. This value is P square. This is the graph of P square. Now draw a perpendicular of P square here, and P square means the square of 0.7. Then it becomes 0.7 0.49. 0.49. Here 0.9 and here 0.49. Now this very red line is the graph for heterozygous. In case of heterozygous, here this is the point where this red line, this frequency of allele meets with the genotype frequency. Here let us draw a graph and let us draw a perpendicular on y-axis. Here should be some value. It is about 2 into 0.3 into 0.7. The value will be 0.42. There are three genotypes. The heterozygous will be 0.43. The homozygous will be homozygous recessive will be 0.9 and homozygous dominant will be 0.49. Sorry, this is not. If we make a square, then it will become 0.09. We have made a mistake. 0.09. Now see here, if this recessive allele, the genotype of this homozygous recessive allele is Q square, the value should be of genotype should be 0.09 Q square. P square should be 0.49 and 2PQ should be 0.42. When we add the frequency of both the alleles, we get 1. Similarly, the frequency of, if we also sum up the frequency of all the genotypes, we will get 1. P square plus Q square plus 2PQ is equal to 1. Now add all the three value. P square 0.49, Q square 0.09 and 2PQ 0.42. This is P square, this is Q square, this is 2PQ. Now add we get 1. Here we add the phenotype of all the genotype of all the three possible genotypes, frequency of all the possible three genotypes, we get 1. Now we have understood it well with the help of a graph also. We can also calculate with the formula. In the case in examination, we are actually the task is given to convert the frequency of allele into the frequency of genotype. But when the frequency of genotype is given there, then we are asked to find out the frequency of allele. Both the kinds of question might be possible. Once again, I would like to see this graph. This is the graph. Y-axis frequency of genotype, on x-axis frequency of allele. Frequency of P is here and frequency of Q is here. If frequency of P increases, frequency of Q decreases. This is the frequency of genotype. We take any value. We can take 0.8, 0.2, 0.9, 0.1. We can take any value. For our we have taken 0.7 and 0.3 to explain the graph. Here 0.7 we find different for 0.7 frequency for P and 0.3 frequency of Q. We have made this. We have drawn where this value meets on y-axis, because y-axis gives the idea of genotype frequency, and we have got three values for frequency of homozygous dominant, frequency of heterozygous dominant, so recessive, and frequency of homozygous recessive and frequency of heterozygous, and they are all summed up and we have got one. This is the verification. We have verified the law with the help of a graph. Okay, thanks.